Francois, and they're leading with a rather damaging story potentially for French President Nicolas Sarkozy.
Yes, this is an exclusive dug out by the news website Mediapart yesterday, so we should give them credit where it's due. Now, they've come out with some pictures, one of which you can see on the front page of Francois. Now, these show UMP Secretary-General Jean-François Copé and the former Interior Minister Brice Hortefeux, who are both close allies of Nicolas Sarkozy, relaxing on the Côte d'Azur with this Franco-Lebanese businessman, Ziad Taqaddine. Now, why is that controversial and embarrassing? Because he is the intermediary, or is accused of having been the intermediary, in a number of French arms deals in which illegal kickbacks may have been paid. There's an inquiry going on at the moment into possible illegal kickbacks which might have been used to fund the 1994 presidential campaign of Sarkozy's mentor Edouard Balladur. They were to do with arms sales in Pakistan, which were reportedly negotiated by this man, Ziad Taqaddine. And the inquiry is considering the possibility that the cancellation of those payments later by Jacques Chirac might have caused or rather led to a bombing in Karachi in 2002, which killed 11 French contractors. Now, their families think it was a revenge attack for the cancellation of those payments, and they now want, or their lawyers want, Copé and Hortefeux to be interviewed as witnesses by the inquiry to find out exactly what their connections are to this man Ziad Taqaddine. Now, they've denied in the past that they were connected to him, so these photos that have come out showing Copé swimming in his swimming pool in Antibes are particularly embarrassing for the ruling UMP. Libération is also looking a little bit at this story. They've dug out some other evidence linking both Copé and Hortefeux to French arms deals. They found some emails sent between the two men in 2004 in which they agree between them to pay a 15% commission on a deal to Saudi Arabia, which was also brokered by Ziad Taqaddine. So it looks like he may have been making some money, or French public money indeed, from his close friendships with those two politicians. And the website Mediapart has also dug into his bank account and found a credit note also dating from 2004 in which Copé agrees to owe him nearly €20,000. So it looks like it may have been a profitable arrangement for the minister as well.
Layers and layers being unravelled.
It's one of these very intricate French corruption cases.
Absolutely.
Yes. But
let's stay with Libération, because they're leading there with a story we're talking about in the news of France's role in Libya.
Yes, they've got this quite nicely designed front page contrasting France trapped in Libya with France targeted in Syria. Of course, French Parliament is set to vote on what exactly their strategy is in Libya today. Now, the Libération's editorial says they don't really have much of one. In order to go into military intervention abroad, they say, you should have a fixed strategy and attainable objectives, whereas France doesn't seem to have either in Libya. They say that after all this military effort, will they eventually have to accept that Gaddafi might be staying in power, or at least remaining in Libya, even if he's not as leader? France has recognised they've got some indirect negotiations going on with Gaddafi's government, and the Libération's editorial asks if we have to recognise that the military option has failed. They've thrown everything that France can, really, at Libya in the last 4 months, they say, and now they may have to realise that they may have to talk to Gaddafi. So they're asking, really, if they want French politicians to clarify today if they are considering negotiations with Gaddafi, if any any negotiated settlement where he remains in the country could be possible, and what exactly they're aiming to get out of this military action. They say it's very vague, and they're hoping for some clarity from France's politicians today.
All right. On a lighter note, good news for French female football players.
Yes, they've got through to the semi-final of the Women's World Cup, and Le Monde thinks this might be the tipping point that gets French football fans actually interested in women's football. The paper points out France's women are a lot more successful than their male counterparts on the international stage, and they say football fans are getting used to the idea that women don't exactly play the same way as the men. You know, the game is less of a combat sport, they say, but for fans of the beautiful game, apparently France's women have great tactics, and growing numbers of French women are taking up the sport as a hobby as the team gets more and more successful on the international stage.
All right, Elena Casas, thanks very much indeed for that.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a quick check now of the top stories we're following here on France 24. Fury from Paris and Washington as French and American embassies come under attack in Damascus.